What is going on, guys? Up here, and I just want to talk today about something really sad I saw recently. Something I had to deal with, something a friend had to deal with, and just let you know what's kind of going on with that situation. And kind of had to just get it off my chest because it's just really, really sad and really just kind of f***ed up. So, a couple of weeks ago, my friend, we'll call him Blake for the sake of this video, Blake calls me and he says that a mutual friend of ours, they've been living together. He went to church, he goes back home, and all of his stuff is gone. They took everything. So he's living with this girl. I'm supposed to be friends with this girl too, but she's kind of flaky. She's unpredictable. She can turn into any kind of attitude at any time for any fucking reason. She was really, really trying to get him to go to church. For some reason, she never went with him. So he gets up and he does that. He comes back home and all of his stuff is gone. His woman's gone. His ex-woman is gone because for some reason she was also living there too, and their kid was also living there. Everyone is gone. There were some beds in there. They're gone. The couch, all the decorations. The only thing that they left him were his own belongings, minus the bed, which he actually bought, but apparently it's in both Blake's name and this other chick's name, and the cops came to his house later and told him that they couldn't force them to give the bed back because it was in both their names. But he calls me and I just dropped everything. I said, alright, you want me to come over there and bring you a beer and we can just chill and play the game or something? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I go to Walmart and I grab a 6-pack. I go over to his house. This dude looks like he's still moving in. He is not well. He felt, I mean, I've seen him pissed off, but I haven't genuinely seen him pissed off before. Because I beat his ass in Tekken all the time. And he's like, oh, you mother... Funny story is that every time Blake came over to my house, the neighbors would complain about the noise, so I had to actually stop having him over. But anyway, Blake and I are just sitting on the floor trying to talk about through everything, and he doesn't know why, this happened, and, he thought everything was fine. He and the girl and his ex-girlfriend were living in the same house, and they were having kind of like problems with one another. I mean, obviously, because you have your current woman and your previous woman living in the same house with your daughter. I don't think that's smart to begin with, but it's your life. I'm not going to tell you how to run it. I'm just going to be there for you. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm not going to disagree with something unless I think it's terribly wrong. And I don't know the whole situation with Blake's daughter and everything. So, and if I had gone over sooner and actually saw the situation, maybe I would have had something to say about it. But I'm always over here and I'm busy and I'm working on something. Either it's a video or it's some graphics or just trying to get my business running and everything. He went to the bathroom at one point and they took his toilet paper and they took the shower curtain. They took all of the food in the fridge minus a few TV dinners. They left him rice cakes, sipping on beers and rice cakes. We call our other friend. Okay, so this other guy comes in. We're gonna give him a name too. Let's see, Blake and Harry. Okay, so Harry comes over and he's like, oh my God, you got wrecked. And I'm just rolling on the floor laughing my ass off. This dude's like trying to make fun of this dude and he's having the worst day of his life, and Harry's just like, dude, what did you even do to deserve this? Like, what did you even do? And then Blake's like, son, I came in the house and when I saw everything was gone, I dropped to my knees and I threw something at the wall. And then Harry stops him in mid-conversation and he's like, what did you throw, motherfucker? You don't have anything to throw. And I'm just laughing my ass off on the floor. I found a paper clip on the floor. So like, this dude picked up this paper clip and threw it at the wall. This dude ain't got nothing in his house. What did you even throw? You don't have anything. They cleaned you out. It doesn't just stop there. He was trying to call him. He was trying to call him on his phone and like a phone they left behind, and then he tried calling him on my phone, and they just didn't pick up because they were just being evil. We sit there for a while. The police come back over and they tell him to stop calling the ladies because they can arrest him for that. And he's basically out of luck because they have the legal right to be dicks to Blake. They're within the law. They don't want to be talked to even though they just did something horrible to him. Although moving out is not against the law, and technically everything they took they were allowed to take. What did we do after that? We started playing Xbox One. We didn't have any internet because they took his internet too. I'm telling you, they took everything. They took his toilet paper. He had to wipe his ass with one of his socks. I threw a sock in the bathroom and he used it. TMI. Did we see a movie that night? What did we even do? We went and saw Pan, that Peter Pan movie. We saw Pan and we came back. Blake just didn't want to stay at his house, his grandparents' house. We had to take him there, and he took his television, he took his Xbox, and whatever little things he had left in his house. The stupid thing is, he trusted his ex-woman with all of the money to pay the rent, and he realized on one of the phones in the messages that the rent hadn't been paid, which means this chick took all of the money. First of all, he went to church, and church is like 3-4 hours. They did it in a really short time, so they probably had this plan for a few weeks. So for a few weeks, they were fed up with Blake. I can't comprehend that. His woman, this was a person I helped out in her greatest time of need. I do that. I care about people. I don't like to call people friends, unless, they're really close to me, but, in general talk, I just call people friends just because it moves conversation along, but there are very few people I consider friend. Blake is one of them. She broke up with her previous boyfriend, and she didn't have anybody to talk to because she couldn't talk to anybody, and she was just all alone, and she came over to me because I was someone who wanted to listen and help her out. Hell, I was in a situation where I could barely talk to anybody. At least I could be there for somebody else. And she came over here with herself, sat on my couch, cried, leaned on my shoulder. It's really sad. One time she even came over, I even gave her a massage with some oils and gave her some meditation techniques so she could just relax, because the whole world just comes around you and you just feel like utter crap. And I helped her out of that situation just to, get her confidence back up, make her feel good, all that. And she hurt this other dude that I'm currently helping through his hard time. I can't even say that I care about this other chick anymore. I mean, she's always been a kind of a flake, but so have most of the people in my life. I didn't really care that much, but now you've just done pure evil. You've essentially created the situation that you were in that I helped you out, but for someone else. That is extremely hypocritical. I thought this chick was going to be fine with Blake. In her situation, she really needed to get out of her house with her parents and her lifestyle. She couldn't stand it, and she started living with Blake and, dating him. And I'm like, yeah, she's going to be all right. She's going to be fine. Blake's a good guy. I don't know why women do this, but, they just disappear in whatever form they can, and this is one of the worst forms where they literally take all their stuff and they go. And I don't know what it is with black women, but I've heard my mom has done this to somebody else too, so it might just run in the race. I'm joking, but it was a mistake living with those two women in the first place. But I understand Blake was in his own situation where he needed to get out of wherever he was, because he was always bouncing around from place to place. He was living in, a house with 3 guys in a really terrible neighborhood. So I'm glad he got out of there and he got his own place and he's making enough money. Now, you can't even say his life is successful anymore. It was successful for exactly 2 months, which is that time they spent in that house. It makes me extremely sad. I'm a person that just likes to help people, and people say people don't do anything for nothing. That is true. I don't do it for nothing. I do it for a thank you. I do it because getting a thank you makes me happy, or to know that I've made someone makes me happy. To know that this one person I made realize that the world wasn't so shitty. Turned someone else's life upside down and made their whole world shitty. It's not right. So guys, if you guys are in a situation that you aren't 100% sure about, or you don't know if you're oblivious or not, just take a look back, and if you can think of a painting for a moment, there's this Bob Ross thing going on now. So everyone should know by now that if you're looking at a painting, sometimes you're a bit too close to the problem to realize that there even is a problem. So when you're painting, you need to step back from the easel, take a look at the whole thing, analyze what's going on in this picture rather than this one section you've been working on this whole time. So in the section of your lives, take a step back from all of it and analyze everything that's going on. You might notice something that's out of place, because this guy did not notice something was out of place. And if I had cared enough to actually go over and see that situation, because I was always telling him, yeah, I'll try some other time. There's a couple of times I tried and then something else came up and I couldn't do it. But if I had gone over sooner, I probably would have given my 2 cents. It probably wouldn't have changed much, but he probably would have been able to step back at some point and realize, hey, what am I doing here? Could he have prevented that situation? It's all just a matter of how your mind is working. And the way his mind is working is, he's got a perfect life. He's got his woman in his life. He's got his daughter in his life. He's got his own house. He's got a job where he's making money. He has his own house he can call his own. That was pretty cool. Everything about that situation was weird now that I realize it. I only wish I realized it sooner. I would have liked to have seen that house when it was, in business. And now it's all gone for him. That's really sad. Just had to get all that off my chest. It's a sad, sad world we live in sometimes. becomes all too real when people start acting out. They have all the things that go wrong in their life, and they decide to just act on those feelings that they have, and the fears and the anguish. They just act on it all and say this is the best decision, because all people are individuals and they all have free will and they all have their own ideas. Some ideas aren't good, but they definitely don't die. I tell y'all that. They don't die. And if you sit there and you think on it a couple of weeks to do evil to somebody, you will eventually do it because you're thinking on it. But what we need is to think on things that are positive. If we thought on things like that are more positive, we get a lot more out of life. You know that, right? This is AwpWilliams signing off. How come I never hear anyone say you pay for your own damn meal? After all, you're the one who's eating your food, so you ordered it, you ate it, you pay for it. Why does there have to be this thought in the minds of people, particularly with women, that a man is supposed